This is a big, major new beginning, major reset. There will be messages that will come up. This is, you having to let go of something. There's something that's going to come up that's going to change something for you. There's a new path. There's a reset going on. Hi everyone, Heather here with astrologywithheather.com, and I am back with another weekly forecast. This one is for Monday, June 7th, all the way through to Sunday, June 13th of 2021. And this week we are entering into round 2 of this eclipse season. We have a big annular solar eclipse at the time of the new moon in the sign of Gemini. This is a massive, transformative, synchronistic, fated energy that's going to propel us forward into a brand new path. This is like a major cosmic reset on all levels. And this is not a typical new moon energy where you're going to want to be setting your intentions. In fact, this is one where maybe you want to keep your goals, your intentions, your plans a little loose between the energy of the eclipse and the energy of the Mercury Retrograde. Anytime you initiate something new or make plans around the time of an eclipse, especially a new moon eclipse, there's usually something that is being eclipsed that you can't quite see at the time of the dark moon. And so as things unfold, as the eclipse energy becomes more prominent, as you start to tap into the signs, the synchronicities, the guidance that you're receiving, then you'll start to be led in probably a very different direction from what you set out on. And so I highly recommend just kind of checking in and paying attention to what's coming up for you during this time, because there's going to be a lot of rearranging. There's going to be a lot of necessity around starting something new or forging a new path or going in a new direction. However, if you are trying to hold on for dear life to control of that direction, then you're going to have a pretty difficult time with this eclipse energy. And so that's something we'll get into in the forecast for all 12 signs. But before we get into that, I just want to mention, for those who are new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do a new weekly forecast every single Saturday at 9 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And even if you're not new to my channel, the way that I structure my videos and my readings are that I start with a 5 to 10 minute general forecast. Don't skip this, because this is going to provide an important context for the more in-depth, more personalized forecast I'm going to be doing for all 12 signs. Speaking of which, when I do get into the forecast for all 12 signs, make sure you listen to your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign to get a more holistic overview of the energy for the week ahead. Your rising sign will actually be the most accurate and predominant energy. Your sun sign will be secondary, and your moon sign is important to listen to as well, although this will be a little bit more internalized and subjective. Finally, at the end of each video, I do a 2 to 3 minute overview of next week's energy so you can look even farther ahead into the future and what the planets have in store for you. So if that's something that you're interested in, stick around until the end. So back to the general forecast. So this new moon is a powerful one. So as I mentioned before, the new moon, the annular solar eclipse, is going to be a super potent energy. When we have an annular solar eclipse, essentially what happens is the sun and moon are in a very close conjunction with either the north or the south node. In this particular circumstance, it's in a conjunction with the north node, which has been transiting the sign of Gemini since last year in May of 2020. This is going to be carrying forward something brand new as a part of that saga, that ongoing story that's been unfolding in all of our lives since May of 2020. We are going to be called to reset, to reboot, and to move into something that we've never experienced before. We're in uncharted waters here. This is uncharted territory. It could be in Gemini that it's a new mindset, a new idea, a new form of communication. It could even involve more mundane things like a short distance trip or a vehicle. But whatever it is that's coming up for you is something that's going to be very prominent and very important when it comes to your overall life story and the story that's been ongoing of these eclipse cycles. And so, this is a big energy, you guys. So there's a few things with this annular solar eclipse that I really like. First off, it's an annular eclipse, which means that it's really potent, right? And so It's not a total eclipse. When we have a total eclipse, that occurs when the moon is very close to the earth and the moon actually covers the sun in its entirety. So there's just a very small ring around it with the sun. So you'll see that that black sun essentially. When we have an annular solar eclipse, the moon is a little bit farther away from the earth. And so it's not going to eclipse the sun quite as much as a total solar eclipse. And so that's really the only difference, but the exactness of it is still there, like a total solar eclipse. And so in terms of the level of impact, total solar eclipses, maximum impact. Annular is right underneath that. And then we have those blood moons like we had just a couple of weeks ago. And so this is a very impactful, very big type of eclipse energy. And what I like about this energy is actually that we have a really beautiful trine with Saturn. And so the Saturn-Uranus conjunction that's been going on all year, that's causing us to feel frustrated, that's causing unexpected challenges and delays, that's forcing us to have to pivot and change course and to do so much more slowly and in this way that causes a lot of effort and it's more painstaking on our end. That energy is being hyper activated these next couple of weeks. And that's something we'll talk about at the end of this video because it's coming exact next week. We're feeling it. The pressure's on, right? Well, this eclipse energy actually alleviates some of that pressure. It gives us an out. And it also stabilizes some of the more nebulous, sort of etheric, sort of ambivalent energy of this eclipse, of this new moon, which is in square with Neptune right now, which is causing a lot of fogginess, confusion. And this is also with Mercury in retrograde in a conjunction with the eclipse. And so on the one hand, the eclipse is bringing up a lot of misinformation, deception, lies, disillusionment, confusion, fogginess, a lot of a lot of miscommunication. That's a big thing right now. So make sure that you're double and triple checking everything that you send out, everything that you say. Make sure that you're actually saying it. The issue that I've been having the past couple of weeks is that I have so much going on all at once and I'm so frazzled that I feel like I'm delivering information to people. And I have these conversations basically in my head, like, oh, I need to tell this person this thing and that thing. And then for some reason, I think I already told them and then I didn't, right? So that's happened like 3 times now already. So one of the things that you can make sure that you're doing is that you're actually communicating and not just thinking about it. But you can also, double, triple check your communications. Make sure that you're very clear in what you're saying. And also, anytime Mercury's in retrograde, you want to have the person repeat back to you what you just said to them. So you want to make sure that they understand what you're saying and that they repeat back to you, or that they're able to paraphrase what you just told them. If what they paraphrase is not what you said, then you need to reiterate. You need to find a new way of explaining yourself. And this is true for any sort of important activity that goes on during this Mercury retrograde. And so what I don't love about this energy is that the square to Neptune is highlighted. The Mercury retrograde is highlighted. Mercury's combust at the time of the eclipse. However, Mercury goes cazimi in the evening, actually, on the day of the eclipse. And so that's going to happen at 7:12 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. You'll have to adjust for your time zone. It's usually cazimi for about 2 hours before and 2 hours after. This means that you have a small window of clarity. You have a small window of getting the information that you need and getting it in a very clear, very rational, very easy to understand way, and also delivering information that you need to deliver in a clear, concise, easy to understand way. And so if whatever you're working on requires precision and accuracy of factual information right now, this is your little window where you can make that happen much more easily, and you can convey the information in a way that's creative but also grounded, right? Because we have that Saturnian component to all of this. But I do like the trine with Saturn. It does alleviate some of the pressure from the Saturn-Uranus square, and it helps whatever this eclipse brings up for us. It helps it to come about in a way that's a little less chaotic and in a way that's going to provide greater stability and a good foundation for our future moving forward, because that's Saturn, right? It also causes us to have to do things the right way and not the fast way. That's another Saturnian component. It can be frustrating to have to slow down and do things the right way, but it is a part of that Saturn-Uranus energy. And I'm thinking about something that just happened today. Maybe I'll tell you guys about it later, but it's very relevant to that. So basically, yeah, this eclipse, it's going to be kind of similar to the other eclipses. There will be messages that will come up because it's in Gemini. There will be ideas that will be formed. There will be very literal communication that could set you off on a new path. There could be very little information that comes up that sets you off on a new path, right? And so paying attention to what's coming up for you in these next few days will allow you to understand better what will be unfolding over these next few weeks, if not the next few months, because this is an eclipse energy and the eclipse energies last for a very long time. And you'll probably be seeing the culmination of a lot of this in the next eclipse cycle, if not even farther off from that. So that's kind of what's going on this week. So let's get into the forecast for all 12 signs, beginning, of course, with Aries. But before we do, I want to just mention very quickly, I do have my Astrology 101 free printable, downloadable PDF guide for you available at the link down in the description below. This is absolutely free of charge. It's a great resource for those of you who are interested in learning more about your chart, who are interested in kind of learning about the different components of the astrology and what I'm actually talking about in these videos and in my free tutorials here on YouTube. There's a guide to the astrological glyphs. There's a guide to the big 3 placements. There's a guide to the signs, planets, houses, aspects, all of it. And so you can find that down in the description below. And so let's get into the forecast for all 12 signs, beginning, of course, with Aries and Aries rising. Okay. So for Aries and for Aries rising, this energy is happening in your 3rd house. So this is very literally about new relationships, new communications, new conversations coming in that very literally leads you on this new direction, especially on a mental level, especially when it comes to your mindset. There could be a literal trip coming up, or like a short distance travel opportunity that comes up very unexpectedly, or a very literal opportunity that comes up for you involving vehicles or things of that nature. It could be that there's a major change going on involving your siblings, your extended family members, your extended family members, your neighbors, or your neighborhood, and that could be something really interesting that takes hold around this time. But it could also be there's something here where you're trying to plan something, you're trying to move forward with something involving all of these themes. Maybe you want to share some information through writing, through blogging, through teaching. Maybe you're learning new information through an educational type of course or something along those lines. Maybe you have something that you want to initiate involving your community or your neighbors, and you think that you have it all ready to go. You think that you understand what's happening, and there's some misinformation or some confusion that might block your ability to actually move forward with these things. This is also an energy where, something is being eclipsed. And so whatever it is you think that you're starting in this area, yes, you will start something of that nature, but the journey to get there is probably not going to be what you think it is. There will be twists and turns. There's something that's going to come up that's going to change something for you in this area of your life. For Taurus and for Taurus rising. So for Taurus, this energy is happening in your 2nd house, which is the house of money, finances. And so this could bring a brand new financial opportunity for you through the hard work and the efforts that you've been putting in your 10th house of career. And so if you've been working really hard, if you've been toiling away and not seeing the financial results that you've been desiring, now's a time where you might have a new opportunity that presents itself that brings in more finances. It could also be that you think that you have your finances all sorted out and you think you know where things are headed, but really you don't. There's something going on here that's clouded or being eclipsed that's going to come up for you and reveal itself over these next couple of weeks, if not these next couple of months. And so, plan loosely when it comes to major purchases, when it comes to big financial moves, when it comes to, moving into a new direction for your career or for your financial situation. This does alleviate some of the pressure because there's a lot of pressure building on a personal level and on a career level for change in all areas of your life, really, but especially when it comes to who you are, the way that you're showing up in the world, the things that you do every single day, and also like your career path overall and what you're putting out there. There's a frustration, there's a need for change. It's moving quite slowly. So this does alleviate some of that pressure, but it's not going to be exactly what you think it's going to be. It's not going to be exactly what you think you need or think that you want. It's going to be what you actually need and what the universe is telling you that you need. It's going to be something that was planned for you most likely prior to this incarnation. And so there's a new path, there's a reset going on in the area of your finances, but it's probably not going to be exactly what you think it is, even if you think that you know already. When it comes to Gemini and Gemini rising, this is happening in your sign. This is a big, major new beginning, major reset for Gemini and Gemini rising people, especially if your sun, moon, or rising is anywhere from 10 to 25 degrees. I would say even before that, like 5 to 25 degrees, because that node is being activated there. But for you guys, this is going to be a big cosmic reset. And if you are a Gemini sun sign and your birthday is this week, first off, happy birthday. And also, there's going to be it's going to be a big year. It's going to be a big year of brand new beginnings where your whole life is going to transform. Your whole life is going to change. You have a new moon eclipse on your solar return. This is a life-changing year where you can never go back to the way things were, where things will never be the same, and where you're going to be moving into an exciting, fated, kind of destined new direction where you're more in alignment with your purpose and what your soul came here to grow through, what your soul came here to learn. And so that's actually a really exciting energy for Gemini sun signs. And in general for Geminis, I mean, this is part of that energy for all of you. So, you've been focusing more on self-development, on figuring out who you are and what it is that you need to be doing out in the world, and focusing a little bit less on the needs, wants, and desires of other people. This is about you and your own self-development. And this is a time where you might be pulled into a new direction in all areas of life. Your personal goals and volition might change. Your appearance might even change. You might do like a makeover or something like that. The way that you connect with the world around you, your relationships might change. Your career path might change. Your home environment, your family relationships might change. This is a big one. This is going to be a lot of change for Geminis, and it starts right now. And even if you think you know exactly what you want and exactly the direction that you're headed into, you probably don't. There's something being eclipsed, and there's a lot of fogginess and confusion around what's going on here. And so just know to make plans, but make them loosely, and to be open to paying attention to the signs, the synchronicities, the opportunities that come up for you, because it's probably not going to look exactly the way that you want it to or that you think you want it to. For Cancer and for Cancer rising. So for Cancers, this energy is happening in your 12th house. And so this is a big major ending for you. So the reset part of this energy is going to be much more prevalent for Cancers and Cancer risings in particular, where there is something that you are being called to let go of in order to move forward into something new. This could also be a lot of very strange dreams, a lot of very strange kind of like visions and impressions and downloads coming to you from the unconscious realms, or from sort of, it almost feels like it's transcendent. It's like coming from another dimension, or it's coming from someone or something else outside of you, where you get this epiphany, you get this message, and you're like, oh my God, this is exactly what I need to do. This feels really important right now. That can be something that can come in for you. This is also you moving into spending more time in solitude, seclusion, contemplation, and in your spiritual practices or a creative space. And that could be part of this as well. This could also bring up for some of you something that comes up unexpectedly involving 12th house institutions. And so it could be an opportunity that comes involving a charitable organization, or a hospital, or a monastery, a temple, an ashram, a church, like all of those types of things, a rehabilitation facility, or it could be something that demands your attention involving all of these types of 12th house institutions and entities. And so that's just something to pay attention to, because that might come up for a subset of these Cancer rising people. But for the most part, this is, you having to let go of something. You really have to focus on the release and the reset in order to move forward in a new direction. All right, so for Leo and for Leo rising. So for Leos, this energy is happening in your 11th house, which is the house of friends, social networks, people that you surround yourself with by choice. And so for Leos, this could be a time where you're coming into some really interesting new connections. This first off could be a really great opportunity for you to forge new connections with lifelong friends that are meant to be a part of your tribe, that are meant to be a part of your social circle, that are meant to help you on your path, on your journey in this lifetime to align you more closely with your destiny. So any new connections that come in the next couple of weeks, especially when it comes to friendships, especially when it comes to networks, even for like business or for your career, things of that nature, pay close attention to those because those might be very long lasting. And even if you have a bad taste in your mouth or a bad perception of them at first, you're not seeing the whole picture. So there's something else that you need to pay attention to that will be revealed about these people to you a little bit later on. Wonderful energy for socializing, wonderful energy for branching out, and expanding your social circle. And, just know that not everyone's going to be exactly who they appear to be. And some of these connections might be coming in for a reason to show you something, and they might not be so pleasant, even if they feel pleasant at first. And on the opposite end, it might be that they don't feel pleasant at first. And you're like, what is with this dude? He's like super weird and I don't know what's going on with him. And then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, you realize this guy's a genius and, he becomes your best friend. So that's the energy for Leo and for Leo rising. For Virgo and for Virgo rising. So for you guys, this is happening in your 10th house, which is the house of career and public reputation. And so this is an energy where a brand new beginning can come to you in the area of career and public reputation. And so maybe a new job opportunity just reveals itself, or you decide that you want to move in a brand new direction and start something new with your career, or your career starts to take off in a new direction very rapidly as a result of this eclipse energy. You're going to be forging a brand new path, something you've never done before when it comes to your career, and you might have a lot of ambivalence around this. And this is something you might have already been working on, and now it just really comes to fruition and you're really pulled into it. Just know that not everything is what it seems to be. As long as you are building off of a solid foundation of hard work that you've put in on a day-to-day basis to propel yourself forward into this new path, then great. If it's coming to you out of the blue, if it's an offer or a contract especially that you have to sign that seems too good to be true, maybe hold off a little bit or remain as flexible as possible because something is being eclipsed. Something is not clear right now. And there's a lot of energy around deception, lies, confusion, especially around contracts, negotiations, agreements, one-on-one types of activities involving your career path. So like business partnerships and things like that. So just make sure that you're, reading all the fine print. If you can wait or if you can be flexible, then definitely be that. Because again, there's something that you just might not be seeing just yet. It doesn't mean it's bad. There's definitely great opportunities, but there's an important component of the information that's clouded or that is in the dark right now. For Libra and for Libra rising, for you guys, there's a lot of really powerful energy in your 9th house. And this is actually, for Libras, one of the best energies for this eclipse because, especially if you're a Libra sun, moon, or rising, anywhere from, I would say, 10 to 25 degrees, you're going to be having this grand trine with your ascendant sun or moon. And it's going to be a really powerful, really positive energy for you. So first and foremost, there's a new perspective that you're getting on life where, your thoughts, your beliefs about God, the universe, the world around you are shifting or changing in a brand new direction due to some information or some new thought process or new philosophy that's being revealed to you right now. Don't think that you know it all just yet because you might not, and you probably don't, but this is an important new direction that you're moving into. Travel can come up right now in a way that's fated, that's karmic, that feels destined, that feels extra important, that connects you to something bigger than yourself, that connects you to your path, to your destiny, to what it is that you need to move into in this lifetime. And that could be a really incredible energy and a really incredible opportunity for you. And also there could be opportunities to connect with teachers. There could be opportunities to connect with people in foreign countries. There could be opportunities to teach and share information in ways that you've never done before. It could feel scary. You could feel ambivalent about it, but it could be very positive, especially if you're teaching or sharing about your passions. Just know again that there's a component of this that's not being revealed to you just yet. But for you, that component for Libras could actually be something that improves it even farther beyond what your expectations are. And so it's not necessarily that something's going to be revealed that throws you completely off course or that wrecks what you're trying to do. It's something that's going to be revealed to you that is going to change things. But if you're open to it, it'll change it definitely for the better. And this could be impacting you in all the ways, Libra. It could impact your children. It could impact your romantic life. It could impact you very personally, your own personal goals, direction, orientation. It could impact your relationships. And again, I think this is going to be mostly positive for Libras. For Scorpio and for Scorpio rising. So for Scorpios, this energy is happening in your 8th house, which is the house of debt, taxes, fines and penalties and fees. People that, and I'm laughing just because of something that just happened, but so this is the house of debt, joint finances, other people's money, taxes, inheritance, insurance payouts, things of that nature. You could have a new development in these areas that brings something new to the financial sector for you. You could have a brand new beginning or a cosmic reset going on where you have to let go of something and move into something brand new when it comes to your resources in partnership with somebody else. You and your partner might be going on a new journey together financially, or they could have a new opportunity that changes things for you, or you could have an opportunity to pay off debts or to secure a loan or to do something of that nature. I would recommend maybe not signing on the dotted line for these types of things just yet, because there are things that you are not seeing yet that have not been revealed and that will change your plans. However, I think that this is going to be overall a good thing. It's just you have to be loose and you have to be able to be flexible. So you have some new financial plans, you have some new energy coming in that area, but whether or not this is going to pan out in the exact way that you want it to, probably not. And so you want to make sure that you're open to paying attention to the guidance, to the signs, the synchronicities, the things that are coming up for you that the universe wants you to pay attention to, so that way you can move in the right direction. So don't hold on too tightly to one set plan. And yeah, I think that this could actually be and especially if you're somebody who's trying to do something like build a home or buy a home or renovate a home or anything of that nature, that Saturn energy is being alleviated a little bit by this. So it could even be that there's like a financial opportunity that allows you to funnel it into a property investment or some sort of project involving your home or your family, or to funnel it into your family, or to create better security for your family moving forward. For Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. So for Sagittarius, this energy is happening in your 7th house, which is the house of relationships. And so this is an energy where something brand new is starting for you in relationship with somebody else, especially if you're a Sagittarius sun, moon, or rising, anywhere from, let's say, 5 to 25 degrees, but especially, that especially 10 to 20 degrees, you're going to be feeling this the most. And so this is going to be a big energy where if you're in partnership, you're going to be moving in a brand new direction together. You are starting something brand new, really exciting together as a unit. And this is going to be hugely impactful when it comes to everything that you want to do in your life moving forward. And this is a really great time for you to work in partnership with somebody else to build community, to set a good foundation for your community connections moving forward. This is also a good time to engage in some sort of coursework or to learn something new in combination with somebody else, even though, yes, we have that Mercury Neptune square and some of the more confusing energies happening right now. It's still a really great time for certain things like that for Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. I think that this is a great week for meeting someone new too. So if you're not in partnership with somebody else and you want to have a long-lasting, committed partnership, then this is a time where somebody can come into your life and it will feel fated. It will feel really important. It'll feel really intense in ways that are not normal. The thing about the eclipses is it doesn't feel right. It almost feels like like you almost are nervous about it because it feels so strange or so important or so different from the relationships that have come up for you in the past, and you feel almost obsessed with connecting with this person, like you have to jump into this relationship. And that could be the case too with like new friendships, new business partnerships, new collaborations. Just know that whatever it is you're moving into in your current partnership, whatever new partnerships come up, there's something being eclipsed that you don't quite see yet that's going to change the direction that you're headed into in potentially multiple different ways. And so you just want to make sure that you're flexible and that you're open. For Capricorn and for Capricorn rising. So for Capricorns, this energy is happening in your 6th house, which is the house of work, health, daily habits, daily routines, things that are kind of more mundane that you do to sustain your existence on a physical level. This could provide for you a new work opportunity or an opportunity for a new project with your work that feels really exciting, that feels really important, that you want to just dive into and get started with. However, I wouldn't recommend jumping in too fast, even if it feels really thrilling to you, just because there's going to be a miscommunication around this. There's going to be misinformation given to you, and you're definitely not seeing the whole picture of the amount of work that this will entail or the type of work that this will entail. There's something that will change or that will shift that is being eclipsed right now that might be revealed to you in the next couple of weeks. And so just plan loosely for these projects, but the new work-related things that come in for you can help to bring greater financial stability and a better foundation for your finances moving forward. So it's not something to just neglect, and you'll be kind of forced to take it on with the energy of the North Node, either by, external circumstances or by the fact that you just feel so compelled that you just almost feel like you don't have a choice. This could be new information about your health or a new direction when it comes to your healing process that could come up for you. Again, just know that there's not complete information right now. So whatever's being revealed to you, it's shrouded in darkness, and there's that confusing Neptune energy. So, take it lightly, take it with a grain of salt. Part of that information is important, but there's some of it that's going to change. So there it is. For Aquarius and Aquarius rising, this energy is actually happening in your 5th house, which is the house of joy and love and passion and pleasure and hobbies and interests and things that you love to do. You have been working so hard, Aquarius. You've had a lot of responsibility on your plate. You've been feeling very burdened, very restricted, very limited at a time where you are feeling frustrated with those burdens, limitations, and restrictions. And this energy is going to bring in some joy, some fun. It's going to allow you to play a little bit more. This could also bring new developments that come out of nowhere, that are fated, that are predestined, that are synchronistic, involving children. And especially if you're somebody who maybe isn't planning for children, and that's a possibility for you due to like whatever it is that you're doing in your life right now. There could be, I would say that some Aquarians, between that Saturn on your ascendant, you guys, Saturn on the ascendant for women is one of the most common signatures I see when people become pregnant, but usually it's a planned pregnancy. One of the other most common signatures I see are eclipses or really significant energies in the 5th house of children. And so I'm just putting it out there. It's a potential. And so, if that's not what you want, be extra careful. Although at this point, I don't know that it might be a little too late for that. But if it's not what you want, be careful. If it is what you want, try harder. There you go. But in general, this is a really great time for new passions, new creative pursuits, new romances. These romances that come in right now will be more like flings, and they'll be more like fun. They're not going to necessarily be like long-lasting, long-term. They could turn into that, but this is a playful energy. This is a good time to just enjoy what comes up for you as it comes up for you, and just know that whatever it is that is revealed, whatever these new passions, these new hobbies, these new creative enterprises, it could even be that you feel really compelled and really inspired to start a business or something like that. Just know that something about these plans, something about what's being revealed will pivot, will change, will be altered in some way. And so you're going to have to plan for that, make adjustments, and just be open to paying attention to the signs, the synchronicities, the dreams that you have, the things that are telling you what direction to take. But in general, for Aquarius, this is a very positive energy. Okay. And then finally, for Pisces and for Pisces rising. For Pisces, this energy is happening in your 4th house, which is the house of home, family, property, real estate, new developments, new beginnings, a cosmic reset, and all of these things. And so if you are somebody who's been looking for a home, you could finally find the perfect place, the perfect opportunity. However, there's something about this property, there's something about this home that you're not quite seeing clearly. And so you might have to make adjustments. You might have to pivot. It might not even be the right thing for you. You might be like, oh my God, this is fate. This is the house I've been looking for. This is just an example, by the way. This could be a lot of different things, but something involving your home where you're like, this is exactly what I've been looking for. It feels so fated. And then something changes and it falls apart. And then a little bit later, maybe in a couple of weeks, a few weeks, or even next eclipse season, the actual perfect right home or the actual perfect opportunity when it comes to property, when it comes to your home, when it comes to improving your communication within your family or your family dynamic in some way, or adding new family members to the home, even in the way of like pets or parents or something like that, or developing a better relationship with your parents. That could be something. There could be actually new developments and communications that come in around your parents or around your family this week too, that could feel very significant and that could pull you in a brand new direction. It's kind of like you're being sucked out of focusing so much on your career right now and so much on what's going on out in the open, and you're being kind of pulled down to your roots to focus on what it is that you want to come home to after work. What do you want to be there for you behind the scenes, behind closed doors? What do you want that part of your life to look like? And this is going to kind of pull you into your destiny when it comes to your family connections, when it comes to your roots, when it comes to your home life. And again, you're not going to see the whole picture. Even if you think you have it all figured out, something will change, but it doesn't mean that it has to be a bad thing. So long as you're open and you're paying attention and you're allowing that guidance to take hold and being flexible, this could be a very positive opportunity for you. Oops. And we're back to Aries. So that is my forecast for all 12 signs. So let's get into next week's forecast, because this is a big one. And I just want to touch on it briefly because, of course, we will get into it very in detail next week. But Saturn is squaring Uranus exact, you guys. This is huge. So think back to January, February, March of last year, but especially February, because that's when it came, or of this year, I should say. So January through March of this year, especially mid-February, because that's when it came exact. Think about what was happening globally around those time periods. Think about what was happening in your own life around those time periods. And this is an energy where we're going to have to be revisiting some of those topics and themes, but in a new way. And so that Saturn square Uranus energy is going to cause tensions. It's going to cause delays. It's going to cause friction. It's going to cause us to have to change and reevaluate and revisit something and pivot in ways that feel uncomfortable, that feel burdensome. However, the end result of this is going to be a much more solid foundation moving forward. These are changes and adjustments we have to make. It's almost like we have to restrict our freedom right now in order to gain more freedom into the future, right? So it's looking at where we need more freedom, where we need more not like mutability, but where we need more adaptability, where we need the ability to do what we want when we want to do it, how we want to do it, and like less burden. But in order to get there, it's almost like we have to burden ourselves a little bit more first. And so that's that Saturn square Uranus energy. Jupiter is also stationing to go retrograde. It'll move back into Aquarius at the end of July. And so that's another big energy. Luckily, when Jupiter is stationing and it's strong in the sky, it tends to be more of a beneficial influence. And so it does kind of negate some of that heaviness, and it will bring opportunities in one area of life while we're having our opportunities restricted or delayed or having to make changes in another area of life. And so it's going to be a mixed bag of energy next week. And so we'll get into that, when we get into that. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, of course, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're following me on Instagram if you want additional astrology insights and updates all week long. And share this video with your friends if you feel like they might benefit from this information about this really powerful eclipse energy, you guys. It's huge. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, everyone. Bye.